If you're thinking about moving and you want to learn about what everyday life is going to be like in your new town, this is the place for you. On Open House, we sit down with local, top producing real estate agents to help you find the best places to live in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So if you don't want buyer's remorse and you want to find your dream town, we are here for you. So go ahead and book a free call with us and we'll help guide you to the area that is right for you. Now, let's jump in and learn about your new home. So today I am sitting down with Katrina Ellis to talk about Suffolk, Virginia. And this is not the first, but this is the second interview that Katrina has done with us. But today, if you're interested or you're thinking about moving to Suffolk, this is the video for you because today that is all we're talking about. So Katrina, if you don't mind, I know a lot of folks probably already know who you are, but why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about, what your specialty is in Suffolk and maybe what you like most about being in real estate.
Hello, everyone. I am Katrina Ellis once again. I work with Century 21 Nackman, located in Chesapeake, Virginia. We have several offices, but actually, I live in the city of Suffolk, Virginia. So that makes it great because I pretty much know the area of Suffolk. It is beautiful. And then I've been in real estate since 2006. I was the Rookie of the Year for the Hampton Realtors Association. And at that time, I was with Long and Foster Real Estate, and I was Rookie of the Year for Long and Foster. So I love real estate. I love helping people. I love first-time buyers. I love my repeat clients. So I am a full-time realtor, and I love what I do.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's always good to be able to get somebody who's got as much experience as you have, the local expertise, and then
Mhm.
also, very much in the game, in the trenches, killing it like you are. So I'm excited. Um, just to dive right into Suffolk, can you tell us a little bit about the area itself? Is it a city? Is it rural? Is it suburban? What are we thinking about when we think about Suffolk, Virginia?
Suffolk is everything you just said. It really is. Actually, we are the largest city within the Hampton Roads area. In Suffolk, it is. We have our town center over in Harbor View. It's really really nice. It's the movies, it's the restaurants. We have houses on the water. Then you can ride right up the street and you'll see a huge cornfield. We have a lot of farms here in the Suffolk area. We have a lot of farmers markets. Suffolk is a really booming area. And like I said, it is a large city. We have our rural, we have a lot of land and trees and things. So you kind of get a little mix of some of everything when you come to Suffolk. So if you're a city person, but you kind of want to pull back a little bit from the city, just a little bit here and there, you'll find that in Suffolk.
Okay, so that's interesting. So with that being said, was it always this? You said it's booming, so I imagine it probably was farmland or
Mm.
rural land, and now it's becoming and has been more of a city. Has that been a recent development, or is it kind of like a newer city, or has it always been pretty varied in respect to the real estate there?
I would say it has always been pretty varied, but within the want to say 8 years, 10 years, a lot more new subdivisions have come about. We have a new subdivision called the Riverfront at Harbor View, which is really nice. And it's on the water, so it's a mix like neighborhood with your condominiums, your single family, your townhomes, houses that can go over $1 million. But then, like I said, at the same time, um, you have your smaller neighborhoods, and then you have your rural land that's kind of like mixed in between. Like if you come where I live, you come down up one of the streets here, you're going to see a whole bunch of trees on each side, and then you get to the end, whoop, it's a neighborhood. You go to the end of that and make a right, oh, it's a high school. So it's really a mixed area as far as the development is. Harbor View really came into play, I would say, about 10 years ago, and they really built up in that area. So I kind of say that's kind of like a little highlight place. It's really nice. It's really nice over there. We have a movie theater. We have several restaurants. Um, but at the same time, we still have that nice country feel, that you're going to see crops growing. You're going to see a farmer's market here, strawberry patch there. So it's really, it's, I love it. I really love Suffolk. I was
Yeah.
born at Peak, but I really love Suffolk. I really, really do.
Yeah, well, you provide a lot of good insight there because, a lot of people, yeah, when you look at Google Maps or you look at anything like that, you
Mhm.
oftentimes don't know, just how varied a place is. So that's good to hear. Now, I know that a lot of folks are, well, Norfolk and Chesapeake Beach area, there's so many different types of people there. I think, especially because of the military bases, right? You've got people coming in and out all the time.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there. With that being said, do most folks in Suffolk are most people like commuting to get to work? Are they staying put to get to work? Is there a lot of local, businesses that where people work? What's the economic side of Suffolk look like?
I would say once again, I'm coming back to the same thing. I would say it's a mix, especially because of the military bases that we have. Of course, North, and then we have Langley, which is in Hampton. So therefore, you have a lot of people that will be right here in Suffolk, but they will travel between those places to work. Of course, COVID came, and of course, some people are still kind of working from home, but you do have a
Mhm.
lot that live in Suffolk and then they commute. And the commute time is really not bad from
What
Suffolk because
what is that?
you can get to Norfolk in about 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
great.
Depending on if you're going to the beach, to the water, to the boardwalk. Depending on traffic, it could be 35. If it's a holiday extra traffic, it may take you about 40, 45 minutes, but that's still not a bad commute time. Even getting over to Hampton, the other side of the water, we have the Monitor Bridge, which you don't have to take the HRBT, which of course you have to go around a circle to Norfolk. But from right here from Suffolk, you can go right through the Monitor Merrimack and you're right in Newport News and Hampton. So that's why I said the commute time is really not bad. And then
Yeah.
as far as prices, well, I'll wait till you get to that question. I won't go before.
Well, actually, it's so funny that you were about to bring that up because I was just about to say I don't want to get ahead of ourselves talking so much about the real estate market in particular, but
Mhm.
I was curious to know whether or not price or what were the factors that would make someone live in Suffolk versus right in Norfolk or right in Hampton. Like, what is it primarily to get a little bit more rural, or is there a price difference? Can you just dive into that just a little bit?
Yes, there is a price. Okay. As far as Hampton Roads is concerned, this is how the prices work. Virginia Beach is at the top.
Okay.
Chesapeake is right behind Virginia Beach. You can kind of get to Norfolk and then Portsmouth and then Suffolk as far as those price points are concerned. In Suffolk, you're going to get more square footage, uh,
Mhm.
your money, more bedrooms, more baths. It has Suffolk offers more in terms of housing at a better price than I would say Virginia Beach. I love Virginia Beach. I'm not knocking it. I'm from the area. But if you want a little bit more for your money, you're going to want to come to Suffolk because you can get a house roughly, let's say we go apples for apples, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, let's say 2,100 square feet. Virginia Beach, you might be at about 365, almost 400,000. Here in Suffolk, you may be able to get that for like three. Difference in price. You know what
That's
I
a big
mean?
price with only 20 minutes of a commute. I mean, and that's not bad.
So it's not like it's an area that, nobody wants to live in. It's a really popular, upcoming, growing area, and we attract a lot of people here. So
So it's
military,
more just a question of like where the development has gone, and this is kind of the new up and coming place, and therefore you have some of that price disparity. Okay.
yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and dive a little bit into the schools. Of course, everybody who's coming in with kids and with family, I've got three myself. That's a big question in a lot of folks' minds, and so I'm just curious to know: are there primarily and only public schools, or are there private schools as well? And if so, what kind of specialty schools do you guys have in that respect?
We have a mixture of both. So we do have of course, your public schools as well as your private. We have vocational center that helps the high schoolers get into a trade even before they graduate high school here.
Very
So
cool.
culinary arts, they can go into welding, they can go into childcare, paralegal. So, and that's offered, of course, through the public school system. Kingsford High School, Kingsford Middle School are two of our newest schools, along with Florence Bowser. That school was torn down and rebuilt. So it's only been open now for about 3 or 4 years. So one of our private schools here is Nasman Suffolk Academy. That's very popular. They have two campuses in the area of Suffolk. So we have a couple of other private school, some of them like we have some Christian schools as well as, just your basic private schools to
Sure.
offer.
Great. Yeah, it's good to know that there's some variety there, and it's not very often that you've got public vocational schools either. I think that that's something that has been a it's a thing of interest for a lot of parents because of how much money people in the trades are able to get without necessarily going into debt. So that's really awesome that you guys have those types of options. And then after you're done working, after you're done going to school, what's there to do afterwards in Suffolk? What kind of like restaurants and bars and what kind of activities do you like most in Suffolk?
So, of course, I like going to the movies. We have the Suffolk Cultural Arts. They just had a ballet here like 2 weeks ago. So we have quite a few places that people can check out here in the area. Like I said, Suffolk Cultural Arts. We have, wait a minute, it was another one I had wanted to tell you about.
Yeah.
We also have the Riddick's Folly Museum. We have Suffolk Seaboard Station Railroad Museum. So we have a lot of places that people can go and check out as far as breweries are concerned. We have Nasman Brewing Station, Wanna Tap Brewing Company. We have Decent People Tap Room. So it's something for everyone. And of course, so let me tell you about Gwaltney. So everybody knows about Gwaltney and their ham. All right.
Oh,
So
okay.
you, if you're looking for some barbecue, we may not be in North Carolina, but we do have some good barbecue places here in the area, some good smoke houses. We have Mason's Grill. That's one of them. Eateries, we have you want to go upscale, you have the Vintage Tavern, of course, that sits right on the water. What else do we have? Oh my goodness, we have so many over here. We just have a new Italian eatery that's located over here, Amitos. So we have some really good places in Suffolk to hang. If you just want to hang out, you can just hang out here.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, you just start making my mouth water hearing about all the barbecue and the hams and all the rest. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need some lunch. Um, and yeah, that's great that you've also got all those like educational, just edifying places that you could go to, from the museums to the various parks. And actually, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that we could do with kids. You mentioned some of the things that I think you could do with the family, but are there any like trampoline parks or Chuck E. Cheese's or arcades or go karts, or what kind of things can you look forward to when you've got kids in the area?
So in this particular area, we don't so particularly have a trampoline park
Okay.
that's located in Suffolk, because remember, Suffolk is still up and coming. But we have a lot of parks. We have Sleepy Hole Park, and each park has something different. We have Parkside. That's a park over in our Parkside neighborhood in Suffolk, along with some of the libraries that host different things. We have drive-in movie nights at some of the parks. We have different kids days at some of the parks as well. We also have something called the Peanut Festival. So that is the highlight because, of course, Suffolk is known for its peanuts,
Is
Planters
that right?
peanuts. Yes, we are
Ah,
well as Ham City. um,
okay.
but as that is concerned, we do have a lot of activities throughout the year that gears towards something that's for the family, and especially during the spring and summer. Bennett's Creek Park, they have a lot of activities for the kids. Like they even have dog dog day. They have, like I said, the movie, or we have movie night, family movie night. So all those, that's something that a family could get together and do as well. And then of course in the spring and summer we have strawberry season. So as a
Ah,
family, which my granddaughter loves, we'll go and pick strawberries.
yeah.
Of course, she's messy when we finish because she's eating probably more than she put in her bucket. But we those type of things that take place, especially during the spring and summer here.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember when I was younger, there used to be a lot of Mennonite farms around where I lived, and so my mom would take us to go strawberry picking. We'd have these 5-gallon buckets, and me and my brothers and sisters, probably like 4, 5, 7 years old, not a single strawberry is getting into our bucket, but it's a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
that's cool. And you had touched on some of the different events and festivals that are happening. I was curious to know just a little bit more about that peanut festival. I haven't heard of something like that. So, what are some of the things that happened during the peanut festival?
So at the Peanut Festival, there is live music, and it typically starts on a Friday. So it's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday type event. We were supposed to have a parade, but the weather is not cooperating this weekend, so they didn't do the parade. But also there are food vendors. I mean, I'm about to make you hungry again, along with myself. You
Yeah,
have vendors that, when I say everything that you can imagine, from turkey legs to barbecue to smoked wings to hamburgers and hot dogs, funnel cakes, fried Oreos, everything is there. And then, of course, you're going to have the peanut man walking around. You're able to get cups of peanuts. We have ice cream. And then, of course, we have rides. So it's almost like a fair, so you have your rides and you have your games that you can win prizes. And like I said, you have your live music, your live bands. You have a couple of different, maybe some of the breweries that will come, and you'll be able to get that as well. You have different vendors that will come, different tents, bingo. You have your tractors, your hay rides, your monster truck rides. You have your horse rides. You have your pony rides. It is so much fun. And everybody from the surrounding cities, not just Suffolk, everyone from the surrounding cities look forward to the Suffolk Peanut Festival.
yeah, that sounds like an absolute blast.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And while you're talking, sometimes that the screen is getting a little blurry and cutting out a little bit. I just want to mention that this is going to date the video a little bit, but we're talking like right in the middle of Hurricane Ian right now. So I think that this is like the fourth largest hurricane that has hit the U.S. Soil in
Yeah.
history. I don't remember someone's probably gonna correct me later on, but at any rate, Katrina is definitely dedicated to the game. She's Katrina. Katrina is definitely dedicated to her work. I mean, who's going to be taking an interview, helping people learn about stuff in the middle of a hurricane?
Right. And
But I
I don't know,
appreciate that.
because the rain, I mean, it is coming down. And I was a little nervous if I got on the computer, if my lights would go off, because actually there are some people without lights in the area right now. So if we go in and out, please forgive us. We were determined to get this done so you all would know a little bit about Suffolk, Virginia.
That's right. And one of the things that I was curious to know back when we were talking more about the kind of the price differences between various
Mhm.
places in your area was what the kind of nature differences were as well. On one hand, I'd like to know what kind of like waterfront opportunities there are in regards to the real estate, but I'll set that aside for just a little bit later.
Okay.
But the first question that I want to ask about nature is just, what kind of like rivers or parks or trails or things that a nature lover would be interested in knowing about in your area.
So in our area, the Nasman River, one of the biggest ones that we have. And in this particular area, we have walking trails throughout basically every part that we have. But there's a walking trail that starts Right here in the driver section, if anybody's familiar with the driver section in Suffolk, Virginia, and it goes all the way up to Western Branch in Chesapeake. So this is over, I believe it's over 3 miles walking trail. Yeah, and a lot of
Okay.
people, they park their cars, they take their dogs, they have their bicycles, or they'll just walk it, or they'll just run it. So we have a lot of that here in the area. Um, like I said, we do have a lot of rural. So you have a lot of hunters that you'll see their trucks on the side of the road, sometimes
Sure.
going in, and they're in the field, in the woods. And I love the deers. I'm just like to leave the deers alone. But in this area, we also have a lot of horse farms because
Oh,
we have a lot of land here. So it's nothing to ride up the street and you see a whole neighborhood. Like there's a newer development and there are houses toward the back, but in the front you see the horses.
that's
Great.
amazing.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful here. So I feel that in Suffolk there's something for everyone. We may not we may not be one of the cities that have a whole lot of trails and a whole lot of mountain climbing and things like that. But we do still have a lot to offer, for that outdoor person with a lot of the waterfront property that we have. And Hoffless Creek is not far from here. That's something, we have a couple of eagles that reside there. Certain time of the year, you cannot do anything. You can't build, you can't do anything because they're protecting those eagles and they're mating and reproduction and everything in that area. But Suffolk, everyone would find something that they love.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing about Suffolk too is that it's really well located in respect to the fact that you are just a couple minutes from a major beach area where you're going to find everything from that perspective. And then it's just a couple miles really west to get to the Appalachian and the Shenandoah Valley. So, I mean, just this last week, I went over to the Appalachian myself and did a little bit of hiking with my family. And I think that is probably less than like what, 45 minutes to an hour to get to some mountains from where Suffolk is.
Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got a lot of options with regards to that,
Yeah.
caves and tunnels and stuff like that too.
Yes.
So very cool. So let's talk a little bit about the real estate specific questions that folks are going to have when they're coming out of the area and are thinking about moving to Suffolk. And with that, let's go ahead and start just with that broader question about the developments that you were mentioning, some of the different types of homes that you can find there. Are there predominantly single family homes? Is it predominantly condominiums? Is it what are the predominant styles in Suffolk?
So, everything that you just said is coming up. We have single family neighborhoods that are coming up, new construction. We have attached condominiums that are coming up. We have single family condominiums that are coming up in the area, as well as your townhouses that are coming up here. So, depending on what you're looking for, you would definitely find it. If you want that condominium, if you want that row style townhome, you're going to get it. If you want a single family, and one thing about Suffolk offers quite a bit of land a lot of time with their properties. So here you're going to get a little bit more square footage or acreage, I would say, in your land on your new construction. Even on a resale, you're going to find a little bit more land. If you're a person that want that big backyard, you can definitely get that here. But definitely we have all of that going on in Suffolk.
Great. Okay, that's great to know. And just to put it in some concrete terms for us, obviously the market's always in flux, right? It's going up, it's going down. We just recently had some rates go up, and it's shifting the market
Yeah.
as is, but things are holding steady for the most part. Um, just ballparking it, would you be able to give us a little range in terms of what you could expect to pay for, say, a condominium versus what you could expect to pay for a townhome versus what you'd expect to pay for maybe a single family home, 4 bedroom, 2 bath on, let's say, an acre of property. If you could give us those like three price breakdowns, that would be awesome, just to give people a sense for things.
Yes. So as far as your condominiums are concerned, we have some condominiums that are selling for less than 200,000.
Okay.
So some condominiums that you can get from maybe, I would say, from 180 to about two, possibly could 205. Now,
Okay.
like I said, a condominium, and that would give you 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. Some of our larger condos, those may run you about 220 to about 265, where you're getting about 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, and some of those square footages are anywhere from 15 to 1800 square feet.
Okay.
That's not a
That's
bad size.
solid.
When
No.
you look at some of your single families, like you said, like a 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath, those are averaging anywhere from, I would say, about 300 and up. And that's
Okay.
going to on what kind of square footage you're looking for. If you're looking for someone may want one that's in the 300, 3,000 square footage, that may run you about 380 to about 425, 450, give or take. And even falling within that, some of those price points, you may be able to find a couple of new constructions that are being built. Because, like you said, the rates have gone up, so it's kind of shifting a little bit. And some of the prices have begun to come down some. They
Okay.
haven't got drastically, like by, I would say, 100,000, but some of the prices have come down some. So you're going to be able to, depending on if you're looking for a resale or if you're looking for a new construction. Of course, your new construction, a lot of times, it's always going to be higher than your resale,
Mhm.
but some of your resales are built 2000, 2010, even 2015, and those prices are still not bad. Single family, you could be looking at from about 3 on up, and in some cases you might be able to get one around 280, 290, depending on the square footage. That may be about 18, 1900 square feet. So some of our single families are almost comparable to some of the condominiums, the larger size condominiums.
Sure.
Hmm.
Okay, so I think it's definitely established in my mind that there are some, very very affordable homes with great value in the area. But of
Hmm.
course, I know that you're working on a lot of very high end homes as well. So with that being said, let's say my budget's in the range of like 800 to maybe $1 million. What could I expect for that kind of price range in your area?
You're going to get definitely waterfront. And what I mean by waterfront, you're going to have waterfront, you're going to have a pier, you're going to have boat access, and your square footage is going to be, I would say, probably about 4,000 square feet and up.
Got it. Okay.
So if you're 8 going all the way up, you have a whole lot to choose from.
That's awesome. Maybe get a little horse farm as well.
I mean, we do have there's this one estate that's for sale. It's a little over 1 million, but when I say it's an estate, it's an estate. It has the horse barn, it has the horse farm, it has the basically the mansion, it has an extra clubhouse, or you could say in-law suite, or um boathouse, whatever, pool house, whatever you want to call it. And actually there
Sure.
have several weddings that have taken place at this ranch. It is beautiful, and it's right here in Suffolk.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think, for a lot of folks who are, maybe looking to, spend a little bit of a, not necessarily retire, but, spend some time further out of the city,
Mhm.
unwind a bit. I feel like there's some really, really good opportunities to get into a very nice home for, what we here in the DC area might pay for something much, much smaller. So that's great.
Yes.
So, and one of the things that I was curious about too was just kind of the architecture as well. In Northern Virginia, you have some, heavy brick architecture. I think further down in Virginia, it might be a little bit more, what do you call it? Stick and it's like basically a wood framed house.
Yes.
Um, in your area, is it mostly brick? Is it mostly like siding? What kind of materials are being used for the design of the homes? Is it colonial style, Federalist? What do we have? Cape Cods?
So we don't really have a lot of Cape Cods here in our particular area, but what we do have is a lot of contemporary homes because although Suffolk does have some historical spots, we're not like kind of like DC. Like, you have those certain places where you're gonna have your row homes and they're all gonna look alike and they're gonna have this certain look about them. Here it's kind of it's mixed. So that way, so we have some brick front with vinyl. We have some all brick, which those are in a higher price point, of course. And then
Hmm.
we have a lot of vinyl in the area. So, and then some of the builders have begun to use like a hardy plank, which is it's kind of on, it's not vinyl, but it gives it a really pretty look on the house. So we're not supposed to, close to kind of like what you all are, see, but we are pretty much contemporary.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Well, that's good to know. And it, I think a lot of times folks from out of state, rightly so, they have some apprehensions about purchasing real estate in a place that they don't, have a whole lot of familiarity in. And being that you've been in the business for as long as you have, and you've had the volume of transactions that you've had, I'm curious to know if you've got any, particular tips or advice that you would give to somebody who's thinking about moving into the area. Is there anything in particular that you think that they should know that they may not know?
Well, definitely, I would tell everyone to do their own due diligence. Come in, stay for a weekend, travel, look around, and look at what the area has to offer. We have great school systems in this area. We do have a lot of military, so you have a lot of people that come in and a lot of people that leave. We have so much to offer in the Hampton Roads area. Farm markets. We have beautiful wedding venues. This we're like a hidden gem over here. Of course, we have the water, we have the ocean front, we have the Chesapeake Bay. We have all of those things. But if you're looking for a place that you can grow your family, or even if you're
Mhm.
looking for a place that you just, what, I'm retiring, I just want to settle down, I want to be somewhere that I can go fishing, I'm not far from water. This has it all. It's something for everyone here in the Hampton Roads area. And I know we're talking about Suffolk. It's definitely something for everyone in this area. I would say come and take a look.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I think that's really good advice because at the end of the day, sometimes seeing is believing, right?
Mhm.
And you got to get in there and see it for yourself. So my last question for you is, again, having lived in the Suffolk area for, and Virginia Beach for your entire life, obviously there's been opportunities for you to probably move elsewhere and go other places. For you personally, like what is the number one reason that you have stayed in your area for the time that you have?
I would say my number one reason would be my family. I have a
Hmm.
lot here. And other than my family, I really do enjoy where I live. I have traveled to different places, and but when I come back home, I'm home. Like, ready to go home. I like this. Oh, this is so pretty. Oh, but I'm ready to go home. You know what I'm saying? So for me, my family has really been my number one reason. But at the same time, I love Hampton Roads. I love where I live. I love the that is, we have a lot going on, here in the area. And lately we've been attracting more large, bigger name companies. We have Target warehouse here. We have Amazon right up the street from where I am. They just built a huge warehouse. We have more places, more big companies that are looking to come here, so I love the area. I love what it has to offer. I love seeing the horses riding down the street,
Sure.
here. It's nothing for me to walk out early in the morning sometimes with my husband and I have deers in my backyard and we have rabbits. Those are, for some people they may be like, oh, but for me that's like, I love that. It's simple, but I love it, So I haven't had a reason that I really wanted to leave to go anywhere else, even though I've seen some beautiful cities and some beautiful states. Virginia is in Hampton Roads is home, and I just love it here. I love what it has to offer. Whatever I want to do, I can do it right here. Fishing, crabbing, going to the movies, going to the beach. Want to get on a boat? I can do that too. So everything is right here.
Yeah, that's a beautiful testament to the fact that you can be a young single professional, find a great place to work at Amazon, work at Norfolk, work at some of the different big job centers around. You can start a family, right, with some of the affordable housing. You can also, spend some of your best years, your golden years, in a horse farm or something like that, being on the water, perhaps.
Hmm.
And it sounds like it's just a really great place to build a family, take root, right? And put roots down somewhere that's got a lot of things to offer. So very cool. Well, thank you, Katrina, for helping us learn a little bit more about Suffolk and just giving us that deep dive. And of course, if you're thinking about moving to Suffolk, you would be in great hands by speaking with Katrina and working with her to help you find your next home. So definitely take a look at the contact details in the description below, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you, Katrina, for having us talking with me and sharing everything that you know with our viewers.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate the time that I spent with you today. Thank you.